Welcome back. You are now ready to learn how to run an efficient and joyous class. Let's look at what it takes to ensure every child gets an optimum and consistent classroom experience. Greet every student coming in with a pleasant smile. This sets the right tone and they are more likely to mirror your positive attitude and demeanor. Make them familiar with the designated place for workbooks, stationery, and other required material. This will help your students to find what they need for the class and start work on it without delay. It will also be easier to set these expectations at the beginning so they learn not to depend on you for these smaller things. As the students take their own workbooks and begin working on them, you can start circulating the tab in the class. Open your student's profile in the QStudent app and select the mental aptitude exercise to launch it. According to the Cuemath learning system, each student needs to spend approximately 10 minutes on the tab, so ensure that all your students get their chance to work on the tab. The workbooks are designed for active learning, hence your students are expected to work on them independently. When a student asks for help, do not solve the problem or give away the answer directly. Ask the right questions to help her arrive at the answer on her own. Please ensure that the student attempts the module assessment in the next class for best learning outcomes. The Cuemath learning system is self-paced and allows every student to set their own learning trajectory as they learn concepts independently. While working on the workbook, if a student encounters an activity sheet, she will be using the math box manipulatives to perform that activity. Ensure your student understands the instructions and is familiar with the corresponding manipulatives to be used. Allocate about 4 to 5 minutes for the CR card discussion with your student. Remember to have this discussion away from other students to avoid distraction. While accepting solutions, check for their justification and reasoning. Based on the solution and the reasoning your student gives, record the puzzle attempt on QTeacher. Once you've marked the CR card attempt on QTeacher, hand over either the new card or the current one based on your discretion and your student's interest. Now let's take note of your role in your students' interaction with the 3 domains of the Cuemath learning system. Your students may or may not be familiar with the concept that they are going to learn in their class. When you went through the workbooks to prepare for your class, you would have noticed that knowing the concepts beforehand is not necessary to start solving the problems. When a student asks you for help, do not solve the problem or give away the answer directly. Ask the right questions to help her arrive at the answer on her own. You may direct her to the solved question on the worksheet, explain parts of the question which she didn't understand, and then let her try solving it on her own. The math box activity needs to be performed by the student, with you acting as a guide to help her through when she gets stuck. Do not directly demonstrate the activity for the student. Ensure that she understands the instructions and is familiar with the corresponding manipulatives. While marking CR cards, take care to not disclose the correct answer to your student, as she will be assigned the card again in the future. And while assigning new cards, ensure the student can read and comprehend the puzzle given to her. Provide a hint if necessary. For mental aptitude exercises, your role is to help your students in understanding the questions and format, especially for a new skill. You may do this by launching practice exercises on the tab. Do not help the child during the exercise. You can help him review his answers at the end of the exercise. Running your classes in this manner will ensure your students have learning experiences that are on par with all students attending Cuemath classes in the country. The compliance score, which measures the consistency of classroom delivery by Cuemath's teachers, will help you stay on track and quantify each student's progress at your center.